If you trod on an ant, bringing about its untimely death, would that keep you up at night? If you saw a fly caught in a spider's web, meeting its own sticky end, would that bring you to tears? Maybe for some it would, but most people would just continue on without a second thought. Why? Well, an ant or a fly are tiny creatures and there's millions of them. Why would they matter to us? The Bible tells us that God is a huge God. He is all-powerful. We, on the other hand, are tiny in comparison. How does God see us? Does he care about our suffering, or does he carry on without a second thought? That's our question today, in short answers to big questions. Does God care about our suffering? The Bible tells us that even though God is massive and we are tiny, he cares about the suffering in our lives. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." Are you struggling in life? Are you finding things hard? Here, we're urged to pray. Why? Because God cares about people. He cares about the suffering in our lives. One day Jesus took a trip with his disciples. As he approached the town of Nain, a funeral procession was coming the other way. A widow was burying her only son. You can imagine her sadness. Yet her pain was greater than the grief of her loss. In that day, as a woman, she would have found it extremely difficult to find work. How would she survive? What did Jesus do? When he saw her, his heart went out to her. Gently, he told her, "Don't cry." Then he walked over to the dead son and said, "Young man, I say to you, get up." Incredibly, the dead man sat up. What does this tell us about God? The Bible tells us that Jesus is God's son. Mysteriously, he is both fully God and fully man. What does that mean? As we see Jesus' heart and actions, we see what God is like. God cares about our suffering. Yet, I want to say more than that. The Bible tells us that God understands our suffering. In Jesus, God himself came into our world. How did he come? He didn't live in great palaces and magnificent luxury. He lived a normal life. He didn't exist as a superhuman being. He experienced the reality of our weaknesses. He wasn't wrapped in cotton wool, hidden away from the struggles of the world. He was beaten and bruised and led to a cross to die. As we bring our pain to him, he cares for us. But it's more than that. He understands. He knows what we are going through because he's been there. God is a great God. In fact, he is so great that he is interested in all the ins and outs of our tiny lives. He cares about our suffering. So if you're hurting today, I want to encourage you to pray. Why not ask God for his help? Thanks for watching Short Answers to Big Questions. If you want to ask more questions, use the comments or contact us through our church website. The links are in the description below. If you want to know when we put out more of these videos, why not subscribe and click the notifications button? If you'd like to, you can also join us for our Sunday services. They're available through our YouTube channel. It would be great if you could join us.